In 2018.
In 2018, I traveled, and I think that was my first encounter with Giant Worldwide. 2018, April. Of course, I'd known about them, so that was really the first time I went for a training. And I went in, and I was trained, and I really got challenged by the tool I'm going to share with you here today. And as I was coming back, I visited a friend of mine who we've been involved with, and he lives in the US. So I visited him in his house, and we were together with a wife, and we were talking on the kitchen table, and he pulls up a Harvard Business Review and magazine, and he opens it up, and as I was reading it, there were 9 cultures, organizational cultures that people build. Now, you've probably heard it said leaders define culture. And as a leader, you can define the culture of personal culture, family culture, team culture, organizational culture, and even the culture of your community. And that society cannot rise above the character of its leaders. And so a leader defines culture of any organization. And so in this article, as I was reading it, and I saw those 9 cultures, some of them was ideas culture, culture of care, culture of result, culture of learning, authority culture, and then you can go on. The list was on and on, on and on, on and on. And as I was reading that article, what stood out for me really validated what I had learned about a tool that is called Support Challenge Matrix. And what stood out, and even you can confirm this with me, and just confirm if this is correct or not. What everybody is looking for at the core of every individual, whenever they are working or they're doing what they're doing, they want 2 things. 1, they want to be supported and to be cared for. And 2, they want challenge. They want results. They want to be pushed to grow. They want to be challenged. And so looking at this tool that we're looking at today, Support Challenge Matrix, if you look, there's low support, high support, and then there's low challenge and high challenge. Now, I'll just walk you through this tool, and so that then you can appreciate what I'm talking about. Most people really struggle, as a leader, to really offer challenge. And what you do is support and support and support. And you want to be nice. You always want to be seen as a nice person. And so you keep supporting, you keep showing up, and you want everybody to feel happy, you want everybody to like you. And so you keep supporting and supporting and supporting. What you're doing is you're protecting. And so you create a culture of entitlement and mistrust. And here's how that might play out. And so you've been nice to these guys, you're nice to them, and sometimes they're helping you do some work. They don't do it as per what you want, but you don't want to send it back to them because you don't want to look like a bad person. What you do is you sit down and you correct it yourself. And so what they think is that they did a good job. And so they keep at that, and they're wondering, this guy is busy. And for us, we are not as busy. Occasionally he comes asking us for help, but then he stays in the office for longer. He's busy doing all these things. What is he not telling us? Slowly there's a mistrust. Or, worst case isn't, it's okay. He'll be okay with it. Let's just do this. And he'll be okay with it. He'll not send it back to us. And so slowly people feel entitled. Slowly there's some, and even you probably experience, even when you have your child, you've always, whatever they ask, you give them. Hey, Daddy, I want sweet. Here. Daddy, I want this. Here. Daddy, I want this. Here. Mommy, I want this. Here. Then they feel entitled to everything you do for them. And that can be very dangerous. The other thing that people that have experienced, also people who then, and this is probably not a place you want to be, low support and low challenge. You have abdicated, given up, abdicate. And so there's a culture of apathy. There's a culture of low expectation. People don't know what to expect from you. Like, yeah, it's okay. You do whatever you want to do. It's okay. Just do whatever you want to do. You've given up on some people. I remember a friend of mine telling me a friend of his was struggling with him because the friend felt like he had given up on him. And how many times have you given up on even issues that pertain to ourselves? You've given up on losing. That thing doesn't work. I don't expect to lose any more weight. It's fine. I'm just going to live my life. It's okay. That guy, it's okay. I've done whatever. You've given up. There's a culture of apathy and low expectations. Whether you've given up on your systems, they'll never work. I can't expect anything good out of that person. I don't expect anything good out of that organization. It's okay. I'll just show up. And I'll just show up and tick a box. And all you do is show up and tick boxes. But really operating from a point of abdicate. You've given up. Low support and low challenge. Others operate from a point where there is high challenge but low support. You're pushed. Get this done. What's wrong with you? Why can't you get this done? You're supposed to have done this by 8. What's wrong with you? Are you? And words are thrown at you and you're made to feel you're small. You're made to feel you don't belong. And there are people who are good at pushing. They can push. They can demand and they know how to state what they want and they don't joke around it and they clearly state you show up and all there is, hi, how are you? I need this done. You need to do this. You need to do that. And you're wondering, do you even care that I'm a human? Do you even care that I'm a human? Do you even know what I went through? Do you even know that I struggled to get here? Do you even know what I'm going through? They're pushing. And really the culture you created is a culture of fear and manipulation. People feel like they're a pawn on your chessboard. People feel like they're just a piece that you use to get your end. Because you're pushing and when you're giving feedback, you give it as if you're giving it to some furniture seated there who have no feelings and does not. And so you're too pushy. And maybe for you come from a school of thought where you're like, people have to be pushed to work. And so you push and you'll get your stuff done for a minute. It'll probably get done, but you'll be wondering why you have a high turnover ratio. People leave. They're like, I can't work there. Those guys are toxic. I remember talking to some lady I was working through a journey. She's like, she was pushed by someone until she couldn't handle it anymore. And how many times have we believed that we have to push people to get stuff done? And you operate from the paradigm where pushing is what works for you. So people are afraid. They're like, okay, here you can't share your opinion. Just do what you've been told. Don't suggest anything. Just do what you've been told. Because if you suggest anything, nobody's willing to hear. Nobody's willing to listen. Just do your task and go home. And people are afraid. People feel like they are being used by you. The last that is our goal and something we all need to aspire to is liberate. And that is where there's support and challenge. And you know how to calibrate support and also challenge. And it's not that and this, I want you to understand this clearly. This is a case where you're not so much on one side, but you're able to balance the two. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be nice every now and then one day be good, be tough, and then be nice, and then one day be tough, or be tough, and then one day be nice, and then tough. No, is you always know for each and every person how to offer support and challenge. And you have conversation with people that make them feel like you care. You want results done, but you also care that they're human, and you also appreciate that they have challenges, and you're willing to help them overcome those challenges. But you get to get work done. So you're able to calibrate support and challenge. Liberators are leaders who know how to calibrate support and challenge. They know when to support and when to challenge. They're not just leaning on one side. They know when to really push for results, but they also know when to have grace. They also know when to support. And when you're giving someone, I need this done, I need it done by tomorrow. Is there any way I can help you get this done by tomorrow? Can you send me a template of how I can do this? Okay, sure, fine. Here's a template. Make sure you follow the template well. If you have any question, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here. I want this done properly well tomorrow. Here is a standard that I need you to get to. But if you have any questions, I'm right here to help you make sure that you get stuff done. So you want stuff done, but you also acknowledge that that the people you're dealing with have feelings and they're human beings. Now, this is a very powerful tool. Some of us come from a point where we feel like, yeah, we are liberators, we liberate, until you ask other people to assess you, your family members or the people you lead to assess you, and you'll shock like, what? No. But how they experience you might be different from what you think you are. And so I'd like you to take this and draw it on a piece of paper and give it to some people. Say, hey, explain to them a little bit. Ask them, do you think I liberate? Do you think I liberate, I dominate, I protect, or I abdicate? And they'll tell you, hey, you always abdicate, or you protect, or you dominate, or you liberate us. And it might vary from one season to another. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be, and I remember once going with some people through this conversation, and the question that someone asked me that is still stuck in my mind is, what if you need to get stuff done and deadlines are approaching? And one thing is you've created a culture of empowerment and opportunity. You've come out as a liberator. And so even if this one particular moment people have to operate at a high pressure, they all know what it means. And they know that's not the norm. That's not what you always projected. They know even if that's you operate, occasionally I talk to people, Gabriel, our environment is high pressure, deliverables and all these things. But irrespective of being in a high pressure zone, people can still appreciate you want stuff done, you are challenging them, but you're also supporting them. I hope this makes sense to you. And I want you to take this tool and think through it and ask yourself, where do you find yourself by default? Personally, as Gabriel, I find myself protecting. I find myself operating where I give high support and low challenge. And so I have to be intentional enough to tell myself, Gabriel, challenge. Offer some challenge. And because of my personality, and we'll learn about personalities in these conversations later on, because of my personality, those who know my personality know when I decide to challenge, then it is coming from a point of where I'm struggling, and they honor and respect that. And they will always make sure that if I have to do that, then maybe it's really from a point of this has to be done, and they will show up and get it done. So what's your default? I've interacted with people who their default is dominate. They push. I've also interacted with people who their default is abdicate. A few people I've interacted with that their default is liberate. So what's your default? And where do you need to grow? Which one do you need to figure out how to do more? Do you need to figure out how to challenge more? Or do you need to figure out how to support more? So that you can then learn how to support and challenge, how to calibrate those two, so that then you can be able to create a culture of empowerment and opportunity. Support people as you challenge them. Thank you very much. Even as a parent, how does this fit for you? As a parent, how do you support and challenge your children? As a family member, as a sibling, how do you support and challenge your siblings? Thank you very much for listening and watching this. I hope and believe that this has added value to your growth as a leader. Thank you.